today I want to talk about what is a brand, why is it important, how do I build a good brand both for me and the organization that I join, and examples please. I've got all of that for you guys. Just so you know my background, I've spent the last 15 years working at the largest ad agencies in the world. When you work at a large ad agency, you get to work on large advertising accounts such as Marlboro, Allstate, BP. So understand that I've kind of been there, done that. In my short time as founder and CEO of Tacklebox, I'm an advisor to Northwestern University's entrepreneurship program, an advisor to the Polsky Center at University of Chicago. I teach entrepreneurship at a college downtown. We're an advisor to Techstars. I have 2 children and 1 wife. Any questions about that 1 wife part? We've got a lot of clients, 50, some you've heard of, Procter & Gamble, Goose Island, many, many you haven't heard of. But I want you to try to remember these things. You know, most people think of a brand as a logo and colors and a name. I don't think I'll make mention of any of those things in today's conversation. In fact, never in our 3 years of existence have we ever encouraged a client to change its name. And very rarely do we encourage a client to change its logo. So what is it that you do? Well, let's first start with developing a strong brand may be the most important thing you do for yourself, professionally, and for your business when you get there. It's really important to start to think about your brand and you, or brand and and the product that you sell, the thing that you do, as separate things. Too many organizations view their brand and their product, or the way they make their money, as right on top of each other. I'm here to tell you they're both physically separate things and they both need to be taken care of, but your product or service is how you make your money. Your brand is how you're going to be remembered. So sometimes when people ask me what I do, I say I'm in the business of helping you get remembered for the right reasons by the right people. And if you think about it, that's what branding is. That's what advertising is. And the best brands in the world have chosen to be remembered by something greater than the product that they sell. I want each and every one of you to be remembered by something greater than your job, than your occupation. This is how you make a reputation for yourself. I also think when you understand what your brand is, and you get it right, and you know how to deliver it, the rest comes easy. Okay, I'll keep going. Oh, I think this is the long version. So I'll fly through some of this stuff, I think. Let me just click through the stuff we're not going to cover. A long time ago, it was all about making sales, and now it's about converting people that are familiar with you and your business into advocates. Because each and every one of you, if you were to take out your phones and tweet on my behalf, that's a whole lot of publicity that I just got for free. So the goal is not to impact people and tell them to buy what you're selling. The goal is to influence them so that they will advocate for you. And no matter how great your product, no matter how great you are at your job, people will not become your advocate unless you have that thing we call brand working in your favor. Brand and what you do, brand and who you are separate things. If you get the brand right, you guys, each and every one of you can just be just like all of these companies that have become famous because they had their brand right. Unfortunately, most people and products and companies tend to take a very product-centric approach to what they do and how they talk about themselves. I'm here to tell you that most companies have it the wrong way. In fact, you should be guided by your brand. Organizations should be guided by their brand, not their product. Now, if you start to put your brand at the center of all the decisions you have to make, you start to understand that getting your brand is very important, right? That's why major global international companies hire an organization like mine to ensure that they get the brand right. How to build one. There's really 3 steps. If you guys are going to be successful and your businesses are going to be successful, you have to understand who are the people that are most critical to my success. Who are the people I don't need to really worry about? What do I want to achieve? What do I want to achieve? And who are the people I need to impact to get there? I need to talk to them. I need to understand them. John, can we sit down because I want to understand how you came to be where you are. Who were the people that mattered in the course to your success, and who were the people that didn't? Not everybody is of equal importance. That's what the big brands know. Then you start to think about, how do I want to be remembered? Put it down on paper and go back to John and say, hey, John, I'm thinking about being remembered in one of these 3 fashions, and my organization is too. Which one's the best? And then you execute on it. This is all marketing and advertising. This, I'm telling you, is where the battle is won. Okay? So I'm going to walk you through that process. Try to take a look at this speech. If you haven't seen it, it's called Start With Why. This is a man named Simon Sinek. I knew him when he had 2 million views on YouTube. Now he's got 30 million. Okay? He says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. In other words, people are far less interested in what you're going to do and are far more interested in why you're interested in doing it. The most inspired companies, organizations, and people don't tell the world what they do. They tell the world why they do it. And my favorite quote, the goal is not to do business with people who want what you have. The goal is to do business with and get hired by companies who believe what you believe. We call this belief-based branding. In every single ad agency, every single big ad campaign you've ever seen, somewhere back in the file, a strategic planner has written a belief to guide the organization and all of that organization's advertising. I'd encourage you guys to try to do the same for yourself. Every single major successful ad agency and ad campaign has at its core what they call a brand concept. What do we as an organization believe? Why do we exist? Why should people believe us? And what is it that we do again? I would love to see each and every one of you try to fill this out for yourself. What is that one core belief that drives you to do the things you do and drives you to do things the way you do them? If you start to put that in front of your elevator pitch, which is probably just I'm a high-frequency trader that specializes in blah, 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 stuff I don't understand. If you start to lead with stuff like this, you're going to be more interesting. And people are going to pay top dollar for you because employers are more interested in hiring people that believe what they believe than they are interested in hiring people to do the job that they can do. Because a lot of you can do the same job. Four minutes. Okay, super quick. This guy, Jim Karras, celebrity, physical trainer to the stars. He's written 5 best-selling New York Times books. He has an MBA from Wharton and multiple studios around the city of Chicago. We got to know Jim Karras and his organization very well, and we developed on his behalf for him brand concepts. I'll show them to you. See, if Jim Karras were like most companies, he'd tell the world what they do, and he would bore people to death, and he would sound like all of his competitors. Don't do that. Here was concept 1. We are Jim Karras, and we believe in fad-free fitness. We exist to get you fit in the purest way possible. We believe you are your most valuable asset. We believe getting healthy doesn't have to be miserable. We believe intelligence matters. So we were able to put all of those concepts through the ringer and get data back on each one of these concepts by talking to the universe of eligible customers who could afford his service, and we let them pick what brand concept would guide then the organization. I want you guys to start thinking about brand concepts for yourselves. Who would vote for number 1? Up there, top left. Show of hands. 2? Okay. 3? The lower left there. 4? Okay. I'd like to introduce you to the new Jim Karras brand. Now that then serves as the basis for all of our marketing. And by the way, it helps Jim hire the right people, people who believe what he believes. See? He hires only people with certain degrees and certifications, and it's transformed his entire organization. And in the course of transforming his entire organization, he's come to attract people who believe what he believes. And then you start to create all the advertising. This is the fun stuff, right? This is why, I want to be a copywriter. This is fun stuff, fun stuff, fun stuff. Now he and everybody that he does business with has a true north for their brand. Remember, their brand is how they're trying to be remembered. It's not how they're making their money. So we do a lot of work with a lot of different organizations. This is a hedge fund, investment bank, merchant bank, wealth manager up on the North Shore, and they're called Topping Capital. This is kind of how they were presenting themselves to the marketplace before they hired us. I'm sure this is very intelligent stuff, don't get me wrong, but I don't believe it would stop anybody in their tracks. This was page 2 of their website. And it was as if you still wanted to learn more, this was their page 3 of their website. From a marketing perspective, it's great. From a financial explanation, hypothesis, strategy, I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's great. I'll just take their word for it. So we developed brand concepts for them. I'll show them to you. We believe that your investments should always be under your complete control. We believe the best investment managers don't just have ideas, they have information. We believe in the power of maneuverable money. Topping Capital, a free-form investment company. We believe that success in modern markets requires a modern approach. Want to vote again? All right, top left, anybody? Control? Okay. How about performance here? Car? Maneuverable money? Modern? See, this is good. When you guys all raise your hands relatively equally, it means we've done our job pretty well. I always tell my team, I'm like, stop doing 4 good concepts. Let's do 3 dogs and 1 winner, because deciding is always the most difficult part. There it is. So Topping Capital has reintroduced itself to the marketplace as a free-form investment company. Your money should be liberated to move in the direction of the greatest opportunity. Who's going to argue with that? And then it's easy to create. By the way, this is one of the companies we designed a new logo for, if you didn't notice. Business cards, pitch deck, stationery, website. When you get the brand right and you have something interesting to look at, the rest comes easy. So start to think about, guys, as you enter the marketplace and you're interviewing against each other for jobs next year, or starting your own trading firm, or fintech organization, how do you want to be remembered? Ask yourself less, how am I going to make money? And more, how am I going to be remembered? That will be your welcome into the art of branding. Hope that makes sense. Quick example. See the difference? These guys are working really hard to sell these shoes. Is anybody in the market for supernatural running shoes? Probably not. Compare that to another shoe company. This is their advertisement. Now you're not concerned about how good their shoe is. See what's going on here? They are telling you what they believe so that they can attract people who believe what they believe. And when you do, you're more likely to advocate for them. This is why they're one of Chicago's greatest success stories in recent years. They're not selling you shoes, they're talking to you about beliefs. How many of you are in the, oh, the clock. So how far over am I, would you say? Okay. So I don't know, how, show of hands, how many of you are in the market for the world's most advanced hatchback? Probably not many of you. However, this is a much more powerful branding advertisement, in our opinion. You could almost see a "We Believe" before it. Dell versus Apple. We all know who's winning that battle. So ask yourselves, what do I believe that's going to make me excited and different from the people sitting next to me? That's about all I have. Remember this.